Hey guys, I wanted to address today something that's really common on the twin flame or true love journey, and that is big, vast differences. um, Whoever the masculine is, the runner chaser dynamic, whoever the masculine is, which would be the runner, the feminine would be the chaser, it doesn't matter the sex. One of the masculine's challenges is to get over like kind of earthly or worldly reliances. So they have to get past their egos in the material world in order to be with their feminine, in order to be like rewarded with their true love, right? And the feminines, they're a little bit more advanced, at least. Did I say advanced? I don't know, whatever I said. The feminines are a little bit more advanced, and at least initially, at least in the initial stages, she's a little bit more advanced, and so she's a lot more open-minded and ready and willing to kind of bridge the gap with those differences. So here are some common things that I'd like to address. Age differences. Age differences. It's really funny because people who really, let me just think. All right, so yes, it can be an issue. It can be an issue for lots of different reasons, right? So they say psychologically somebody doesn't completely become who they are till they're like 25 or something. There's so many psychological tests that say different things. Then you have the issue of somebody going into their Saturn return when they're like, 31 or something like that. And when they go through that period, they tend to really see things a lot differently, and they make major shifts in their life that like they'll divorce or leave people or move to a different state. They make really pretty dramatic changes. I just wanted to let you guys see like what my shirt looks like. It's kind of cute, but because you can only see like a little. It looks almost like I'm naked. It's not a naked truth though. Anyway, so all right, considering that, I mean, I seriously, the president of France is married to, he's a male. He's married to a woman who's 30 years older than him. Yes, you're going to take on a lot of flack. You are going to be harassed like crazy by your friends, by your family, by everybody. Probably they'll call you a cradle robber, a cougar, you name it. They'll say that you need a mommy or a daddy or whatever it is, or the younger one needs financial security, or there's so many different things that you would have to face with that. Yes, but if it truly is a true love relationship, you can't get better emotional support for your journey. And if you look at, it's like everything you look at that could be an advantage. You gotta be able to see what the advantages or benefits are to whatever that supposed disadvantage is. So if you look at it from both of their perspective, okay, so you have this younger person with an older person. The younger person could take care of the older person as they age, if they truly love them deeply and they really are committed to being with them for the rest of their lives. They could make it through those stages. It's everybody runs the risk of someone meeting somebody younger, more beautiful, more handsome, or whatever. So they kind of neutralize each other out there. But if you have that dynamic going on, the younger person can kind of take care of the older person when they do get older, and then they can take the inheritance. Hopefully there would be one. If not, then they've lived a very rich, happy life. But say the older person dies when they're 80, and you got a 60-year-old, the younger one is left at 60. And who knows if it could be the reverse. I mean, there are no guarantees. The younger one could die in 2 years after they get married or something. So this is also hypothetical anyway. And we only, we're only living in this life at this moment right now. So why not live it to the fullest? But anyway, so this person could take that inheritance and go, live it up and go have a great time with some new person, that they know will probably never be like the other person, but at least, they could be financially supported for the rest of their lives and have a great time. So there's that. For the older person, they get somebody who is stronger, younger, more active. They help out a lot, and there are benefits to it, you guys. And I have talked to people who have dated people all along the, all kinds of age differences, and I have met, and I know some guys that are in their late 40s. Early 50s even, that are incredibly immature. They're like 8 years old. I swear to God. I talk to these guys and I'm just like, how have you gotten through life with this mentality? Is shocking, right? And then I've met some 22-year-olds that shock me with their level of maturity and their ability to think ahead and make plans and be strong and confident and all of this, right? So I don't think it's to be judged. Yes, you're going to get flack. That's the only thing. You're going to get flack. You're going to get flack no matter what in any of these differences I'm going to be talking about today. But honestly, a lot of people who would make fun of you, like your friends who would be like, cracking jokes and stuff about your person being young or old or whatever it is. Let's say somebody's making fun of you for being with somebody young. They're probably doing so because the person that they're with is acting like a child or there's some kind of dynamic going in their lives where they're quite frustrated with somebody who's acting like they're a child, so they're actually frustrated about their own lives if they're judging you. They're projecting. Just always remember people are projecting. And if they're saying, oh, that's this, that you're with this old person, they're going to da-da-da-da-da and whatever they say. And women do get more sexually active as they age. Men get less sexually active. So there's all that to consider too. But, and then there's always, you guys could always do something totally different, like Tantra, which is more of a spiritual way of sexuality that can be fulfilling and life sustaining for a long, long time too. There are ways to make it work no matter what. Anyway, so if they make fun of you for being with somebody older, then you can just figure that they're projecting about that too. Maybe they're afraid to age themselves. Maybe they feel like an old fart. Maybe whoever, they're involved with is boring and won't go out and do anything. You know what I mean? Everything is to be taken, however, you take everything into consideration when you're thinking about whether to be with this person or not. But I will say many true love relationships, if not all, have some major differences, except for soulmates. Soulmates are just really easy and comfortable. But these guys are worth taking a gamble on because they are meant for you. They're meant for you. And you're supposed to take a leap of faith to be with the person you're going to be with. You don't meet true love every day, all the time. It's worth it. If they live in another location, who the heck cares? But are you just going to go, oh, I'm going to find somebody who looks like my true love in my town? That's like, some people do that. That's not your true love, though. And you're always going to yearn for that other person. So consider that. Whoever you settle for, you're going to be living with this other person or married to this other person for a long time. Maybe have kids with them and everything. And you're going to be longing for this person that you X'd out of your life or that you've kept on the back burner or you've, dismissed them because of these differences. And you could suffer the rest of your life yearning for them. So I don't know. Of course, I'm always rooting on true love. So, all right. So the other thing would be religion. Religion can be a really tough one because a lot of people who are still religious at this time are pretty brainwashed. And I know I could get a lot of flack for this, and that's okay. Everybody is where they're at. And if you feel like you need the community of a church or a religion, or if you need the dogma because it makes you feel safe and it makes you feel like as long as I live within these black and white lines, I'm okay, then that's where you're at. And that's fine. Everything has its place. Everything has its reason. But if you, I hear a lot of so many stories, you guys, and it's so sad. Like I can think of one masculine who's stuck in a miserable marriage because he believes you don't get a divorce. And he believes that his divine feminine is the devil and is a temptation. And he's gone back and forth about this. And anyone who's in that position, if you're masculine listening to this and you're just like have something like that weighing on you, like a lot of guilt, open your mind, do some research, go deeper. Don't just believe everything everybody's told you, especially people who are religious or people who have super strong opinions about something. If people, just remember, if something is emotionally charged and somebody's telling you something in a very insisting type of way, it's probably because they had to convince themselves of something themselves. So they're projecting on you where they need your buy-in in order for them to feel okay. So they'll really push it on you so that they feel like, oh yeah, see, I did the right thing. I was able to convince this person to do it too. And then it just spreads. And then it's like a whole body of people who are believing the same thing, tooth and nail. And it's like, there's so many different religions. How do you know which one is right? I go by the fruits of the tree. I would be more apt to believe by somebody's actions, and I wouldn't think that it would have anything to do with religion. I've met amazing Muslims. I've met amazing Christians, amazing Jews, amazing everything. And it's really just about your heart and your willingness to see yourself and be self-aware and take personal responsibility and be mature and be as unconditionally loving of yourself and then of others as you can be, no matter what religion it is. So yes, again, you're going to get flack. If your family is a certain religion and here you're going out with a psychic, or, your divine feminine is somebody with special abilities or something like that, yeah, you're going to get flack. But, it's like, honestly, if somebody is judging you, it's them that's hurting anyway, and it's them that's projecting, it's them who's being unloving. Why would you want to have those kind of people in your life anyway? Honestly, I'm not one of those people who are like clinging to friends and family because they make me feel safe or whatever. I can make myself feel safe. We can all be our own best friend and make ourselves feel safe. You don't need anybody outside of yourself. But if you have found a true love counterpart that's a different religion than you, then, geez, I would go for it. I would totally go for it. Like, what does it matter? And I would just find the commonalities. If you guys are two extreme religions, even let's say one's Muslim and one's Christian or something like that, you guys can find the essence of what is true in both religions and agree on those things. This true love counterpart is not going to be battling with you about these things. They are not out to be right. They are going to be somebody who supports you in your own belief system. And they're going to be somebody who loves you immensely and wants to work with you, not against you. They're going to be different. They're going to be easier to get along with than people who are trying to fit the square peg into the round hole kind of idea. So, yeah. And then there's race. Race is just a matter of pretty much just judgments you'll get from people looking at you funny. I went on a trip with a friend who was a different race. And I was shocked one time. We were walking down the road, giggling like little girls and having the best time ever. And a car went by very slowly, glaring at us. And it was the first time that I'd ever seen something so weird, you know? And I couldn't think for the life of me what they were staring at. And they were like, you know, driving like 5 miles an hour. And I just looked at her and we were laughing, you know, so I almost didn't even notice, but she noticed too. We were like laughing, looking over like, what was that dude's problem, you know? And we were just like, what do you think that was, you know, for a while. And I was like, it had to have been because everybody there was white. So I was just like, that had to have been that. And she was like, I've never been treated that way though, you know? And I was like, that's all I can think of. That's all I can think of. So what a weirdo. So you're going to get that stuff, you know, when you're going out with somebody that everybody else thinks, you know, they're not going to get you. And here you are going, they so get me. They get me better than anybody's ever gotten me. They can practically read my mind. They know me better than I know me. And you guys are sitting here saying that this person's not going to know me because they're not my race or whatever. And it's ridiculous. I think that you should, and also when you think about some of these like cultural differences and these racial differences, when you start blurring the lines, it can be scary for people who are super traditional, that things should be the way that they've always been or something. There's a certain comfort level that is involved there. When you start blurring those lines, though, a beautiful thing starts to happen and people become more like unified. They can become more unified because there's not these vast differences between this culture and that culture. You start to see that the common ground or the universal truth between those cultures is giggling and laughing and hugging and kissing, you know, the heart stuff. When you start to become more accepting of others, no matter what the differences are, you start to see that heart stuff. You start to see that couple with that huge age difference, and you can get a tear in your eye and look at how special and beautiful and sweet it is. And just see it for that. You know, you can see the racial difference or the religious differences and say, wow, you know, and that's where we can come to in this world, is this peaceful place where we all accept each other no matter what the differences are between us. The more that we can come to peace as the leaders, as these twin flame leaders, and you are a twin flame you are a leader by being a twin flame. You know, these power couples come together and they bridge these gaps like that. And we're like the example for society. You know, we are showing them that tolerance is the way, that peace is the way. When you cower down and you're scared and you want to be socially acceptable, or you want to be politically correct, or you want to please your family, and you think it's going to devastate your family to go out with this person, you're showing, you know, you're basically saying, you know, that those things matter and you want to keep those things in place, those mechanisms, those dynamics in place. Do you? You really want a world where the line is drawn in the sand and nobody crosses it? You know, and how manipulative is that for parents to make you feel really bad for your choice? That's just so controlling and manipulative. That's not love. You know, I look at family members as just being people that I know. Either they treat me right and I love being around them and I cherish all these wonderful memories that I have with them and I enjoy their support, or they're jerks just like anyone else and I don't want to have anything to do with them. You know, it can be that simple. And if, you know, I've talked to some of these, and oh my gosh, you guys, I've talked to people all over the world who are even the parents of these people who want to be together. They're the ones saying, you know, I talked to a wife once who was just like, you know, if my kid goes with this partner, then my husband is going to make my life hell. Like, he is going to be miserable and he's going to be upset and he's going to be this, that, and the other. And I'm like, how old is he? He's like in his 60s or 70s. He's seriously going to throw a childish fit and he's going to make his whole family miserable and he's going to act like it's the kid's fault. That's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous, because he is the one making everybody miserable, not the kid. If the dad was taken out of the equation completely, everybody would be happy. So, you know, let's keep things in perspective here. You know, the people who are saying, no, you must be this religion or believe this or believe that thing, you know, they're the ones wreaking havoc. They're the ones being the devil. They're the ones being the ones drawing those lines and being judgmental and causing more hatred in this world. So as twin flames, you guys have that choice to be in your integrity and to make those choices based on your heart, your intuition, and what truly works for you in your life. Now, having considered all of that, if this person is an alcoholic or if they smoke pot all the time and they're just completely numbed out on life, or they are, if they make bad decisions and they treat you bad, those are good reasons not to be with somebody. But just for religious or race or any kind of difference like that, don't worry about it, you guys. Don't worry about it. Just go for it. I know one family, they were probably, I think they were like 16 years apart or something like that. And their family just hated it and even like disowned them. And they would not have anything to do. Like one of them wasn't invited to any of that one's vacations or holidays or anything. And they did the same to each other for many years. So the couple just waited for them to die. They stayed together and they just made it work. They compromised where they could, and they just went to separate things sometimes. And other times they were just like, screw you, family, we're going to have a holiday together. And you guys are invited if you're grown up enough to do it, or you're not. So, that's the way you got to handle it. If you have to be the adults, then be the adults. You're the grown-ups, not these immature people who are saying that our culture matters most. So that's just my opinion, take it or leave it. I just think that, the true love is rare enough and special enough that you should take a chance. And that I'm talking about, who I'm talking about when I say this, and how they make you feel, and that you're not going to find something like that again. Many of you, when we have these talks, cry. And many of you feel terrible, ripped up about it, about having to make a decision to not be with them. I don't know why. I understand there are a lot of social pressures and a lot of family pressures and stuff, but if you really, really look at it deeply, you've been brainwashed. And you're making a major life decision to not be with your love because you've been completely controlled and brainwashed by your parents or by society or by whoever. So just be your own person. Be free. Make your own decision. Go to an island, just the two of you if you have to. If you're that scared of everybody, just pretend that you died. Like, put out a fake newspaper article that you died and go take off with your person. But then you'll be on a tropical island with your person and having a ball. And maybe just you figure out one of your friends you want to let in on it, fly them over on a private jet, and you guys just have a great time over there. There's just limitless possibilities. And I am in your corner. If you need a pep talk about, making a big decision like that, I will be in your corner fighting for you and helping you to be strong, setting boundaries with some of these other tyrants. And I call them tyrants on purpose because they're tyrants. They're terrible. If somebody's trying to influence you with their own opinions or beliefs or whatever it is, so that you don't do something that your heart is calling you to, they're tyrants, they're bullies. That's all they are. So don't let those types of people run your life. Okay. I think that's enough for today. If you guys want to contribute to this conversation down below, that would be beautiful too. Maybe share your own experience with overcoming these types of differences. Maybe some projections that you've seen, maybe ways that people have overcome, being brainwashed by their beliefs or whatever it is. Whatever you feel like people could read to help them become stronger against these tyrants, then I would love to hear it in the comments below, and anything else you'd like to share. So, and obviously there are no attacks attended in there. Everybody is where they're at because they're supposed to. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to mention. Hey, thank you. Do the exercise, thank you God for my misery. I will post the link to the video below. It was just posted. It just uploaded yesterday, I think. Anyway, do that exercise on whatever these obstacles are between you and your loved one. Thank you God that this person is whatever. And then you list 10 to 15 advantages or benefits as to why that is perfect, why that is so awesome, why that's a really great thing in your life. What was the other thing? Yeah. No matter what age you are, don't settle. Never settle. Oh, it's just sad. If you're learning to master taking responsibility for your happiness, despite what appears before you, you're reeling him in with your good vibes. So don't worry. Don't settle. Go toward what's calling you. And it's always going to be scary making a choice like that. It's already scary. It's already scary without those big differences, right? Because you're thinking, oh my God, this can be a karmic. This is roller coaster. Go to a psychic. Go to a psychic and figure it out. Try to figure out what kind of relationship it is and if it's beneficial to you or not. Go to somebody who's unbiased and somebody who's loving, for sure. Go to somebody, if you're twin flame, which you probably are if you're watching this, but also go to a psychic that is a twin flame. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of judgment and you'll get people and go to yeah. And also it's like, you don't want to go to people who've like friends who've had psychopaths for exes or something, because they're going to be, what are you doing, Wyatt? Or you're talking to a guy who's not talking back. And, don't go to people who aren't going to understand. There's a video on that too. If you look at my Talks About Life playlist, there's a really good video on like not talking to people who aren't twin flames about this stuff because they don't get it. They don't get what a paranormal experience it is and how crazy you can feel. Anyway, now I'm just babbling. They just said to pull a Sacred Rebels card. Well, okay, then I'll do that. This is a message for you guys that are concerned about differences. And look, I'm going like this, so I can't even see what's going on here. I just picked a random card. New birth, guarded, vigilant. Guarded vigilantly, new birth. Okay, here's what it looks like. There we go. Now we can see. All right, I'm going to read it to you. Once upon a time, my child. We're too much fun with this stuff. All right. In every creative process, in every birth, in every opening of a new cycle of life, there is a time of vulnerability. This vulnerability is natural and appropriate. It's the foal learning to become steady on its legs. Those legs will become remarkably powerful in time, but the process of growth and maturity has to take place, and that requires some wobbly first attempts. It cannot be any other way. Within you, perhaps even below the level of your conscious awareness, there is a fresh new life emerging, like a vibrant green shoot rising up from the earth. This new life is in need of your attention and your care. This could be a new relationship that needs tending to with interest and kindness. It could be a new idea that you need to nurture into fullness because it's going to hold special purpose for your life path. It might be something within you, a new behavior, a new way of looking at yourself. I'm getting chills. Or a new way of being in the world that you need to tend to until it becomes more natural for you to embody. Oh my gosh. In twin flames, they have these differences so they can balance that separateness, so they can drop more judgments, because if you're at extremes and you love each other enough to be like gravitating toward each other, you're going to cause change to happen in yourself and in the world. That's another thing I forgot to say, is you're affecting the collective. Every decision that you make and every time you try to bridge a gap in differences, you're helping the whole world do the same thing. So think of the impact you're making that way too. This is most significantly so if you have also drawn the oracle of, we didn't. If you feel drawn to do so, you may read the guidance for that card now. Okay, drawing either of these cards alerts you to the fact that the idea you are currently nurturing or soon will is of great importance to your life path. Pay appropriate respect to the messages of those cards and you will reap great spiritual benefit and emotional well-being. If you have also drawn the card, oh my gosh, why do they keep doing that? Okay, you must pay attention to the new life emerging for you now, or that you will soon sense. Okay, you must not be careless and think it doesn't matter. It matters greatly. Being careless now is akin to killing off the idea before it has a chance to grow strong enough to withstand the criticism, jealousy, or sabotage by dark consciousness in others or yourself. We don't have to be frightened or of destructive energy. It exists in nature and it is around us. It's just a part of life. We do, however, need to be intelligent to its potential power and stay centered in our heart and in our wisdom to avoid its ill effect upon that which we are nurturing into life. You will not always need to cloak that which is young. Soon enough, it will be able to stand up for itself, but for now, your vigilance and care is most certainly required. Hug your ideas to yourself as though they were a new lover you cannot bear to share with anyone. In time, the world will be the lover receiving the love in your idea. For now, it is for you to love, for you to hold, and for you to observe. Only allow those proven to be trustworthy to support you in this. Those who can handle the frequency or the vibration of what you are seeking to nurture. Wow. Some may love you, but be frightened of what you're creating. Stay true to yourself and your creative power and be wise as to whom you invite into your inner sanctum to witness this new life emerging. I have chills everywhere. This oracle also brings particular guidance about keeping your inner sanctuary pure. This may be your room, a sacred place you visit, or your own body into which you retreat in relaxation or meditation. Sometimes you will find that others have taken up residence in your sanctuary. Interesting. Perhaps an argument that cannot let go, perhaps an argument that you cannot let go of has another living in your head. Oh. A suffering that has been acknowledged and released can feel like an old, big, dirty suitcase of emotional baggage cluttering up the temple space of your heart. It's time to focus. Whoa, I just felt somebody cry at that. It's time to focus on your purity, light, love, and compassion that dwells within you. Everything else will come and go, and that is just fine, but the purity within your sanctuary is eternal. You can come back to it to refresh your spirit and gain resources to help you deal with the rest of the world and even your own darker moments anew. It will give you the peace and spaciousness of mind you need to recognize the new life and to compassionately but firmly denounce any intrusion upon that new life by doubt, fear, or sabotage. Holy crap. Oh, this deck is amazing. Let me show you the front of it. I don't know where the front of it is. Actually, never mind. All right, healing process. All right, ready? Close your eyes and relax. Focus on your breath for several moments. Imagine the external world fading away and allow yourself to step into your heart as though within you there is a silent, vast, open space. That space within you is peaceful. Sense, see, or feel that deep within that space, a tender young shoot is rising out of the earth. With tremendous courage and focus, it has summoned the energy to crack through the seed that once contained its life force, and it is reaching directly up towards the light, boldly determined to become a full, mature plant. Imagine that you are joyfully, lovingly, and consciously standing guard over that chute. From a loving, aware, and strong space, you firmly move on any big, muddy boots that will step on it, or any devouring insects that look rather interested in that tasty young morsel. You do this easily and effectively whilst remaining centered in your heart. Around you and the chute are many beings of unconditional love. These may be ancestors, spiritual guides, beings of light, or angelic beings. You may sense darkness rise and fall around you, and the circle of light created by your love and the beings supporting you to protect this tender young shoot. You can notice that rise and fall of darkness whilst remaining calm, centered, and detached in your heart as you focus your love on your young plant. Watch it respond and grow strong. All is well. You may whisper to it, "You are safe, and you will grow strong and thrive. Through unconditional love, so be it." In your own time, just open your eyes and you have completed your healing process. At any time, you can return to repeat this process, especially if you feel anxiety or fear about your new life being able to sustain itself and become strong. There's no need to worry. Just treat such feelings as an intuitive sign that this healing process will be helpful for you and repeat it. You can do it daily for a few weeks if you're going through a particularly vulnerable period in your life. It will never do you any harm. It will only ever support you. Dang. Guard your new birth, guard your new life with all you've got and with all your heart. That's so beautiful. Right? Oh my gosh, you guys. I just feel so much love for you guys, and it's such a privilege being able to talk to you guys like in person about these incredible stories that I get to hear. And you can do this. Have faith in life and that they brought this beautiful person to you. I know you want to be with them with all your heart. So don't let anything stop you, no matter what it is, or no matter what the difference, no matter what. You guys have a beautiful day, and please share your stories with me down below. And if you want to schedule a reading with me, I would love to explore this further with you. Just go to amysatori.com/services, and you can check out all the different things that I offer. You can always call the Satori Show every Sunday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 256-291-1191. And you can talk about this on there with me as well for free. And or anything else that you could use my advice on. All right. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful day. And we'll talk to you next time.